Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hi everybody, welcome to our new time, our Wednesday evening Ask an Engineer.
I feel like I've always lived here now.
I know, but we recently moved from Saturday, don't forget. We are now Wednesdays at 8 p.m., but it's still me, Lady Ada, the engineer, and Mr. Lady Ada on camera control and all the typing stuff that is required to run the show.
I type.
And we're broadcasting from the Adafruit headquarters, sort of in the shipping-ish department.
Yeah.
In downtown Manhattan in Soho, and we have an exciting show for you tonight.
That's right. On tonight's show, the code is V-Day, celebrating Valentine's Day. That's right, we do that here too. It's okay. Little reminder, we still take Bitcoins. We'll talk about our free offers that we have. We're going to talk about what's on the show and tell. Packet the Mailbag will stop by. Hey, Packet. Talk about some new Fritzing that we published, put up on the site. Talk about some open source hardware. Do a little bit of recap of the hardware hangout we just had on Tuesday. Talk about our contest and some of the winners. Do a tour of the Adafruit learning system. Almost 500 tutorials and counting. Travel back in time with Time Travel Tuesday, news and things in the world of makers. We have a special video that we're pleased to share. It is awesome. It is about manufacturing the Fade candies here at Adafruit. We got some wearable electronics, we got some 3D printing, we got some Pi projects, and we have new products
New.
and more. We're going to answer your questions. We have a trivia question, all that and more on Ask an Engineer. All right, we are here.
And I have a 3D printed black rose.
We will go over that soon. That's a little tiny one we actually
A
have.
subtle mini one.
All right. Okay, so for the folks who are just joining us because it's this live Wednesday night, a little reminder. Yeah, we moved the shows. We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
It's moved.
Yeah, it's moved.
If you're watching us live, then congratulations. You know what you're doing. If
Yeah.
you're watching us in a recording and you're wondering how you missed us, it's Wednesday nights.
Yep, Wednesday night, 7:30, show and tell, and Ask an Engineer, 8 p.m. We're doing that from now on, and we're loving it. It's working out. Next up. So here's the thing, we have to remind everybody, we take Bitcoin. You guys should probably spend your Bitcoins if you have them. Just like a little heads up, little pro tip from...
Before it's completely illegal.
No, I don't think it's going to be illegal. I think people are going to be like, this is weird. So yeah, we're taking Bitcoins. It's working out really great. People who were mining Bitcoins from the Adafruit tutorial with the Pi miner finally are selling them, and a lot of people bought some cool stuff. So we're still taking that.
Okay.
Next up, got to pay some bills. We still have our free deal this month. Free UPS ground for orders $200 or more, Continental USA, and a free PermaProto for orders $99 or more. And yes, those can be combined. And of course, you can use the code VDAY and use that as well. So that's what's going on. Every month we try to do something different. Free. The PermaProtos are super handy. We see these everywhere.
Yes.
Enjoy it, folks. You'll like it. Miniature UPS truck. Not included.
Goes
Giant PermaProto.
Goes with our mini 3D printed dress.
Yeah.
No, that's a little truck.
That's a little truck. That's not a PermaProto.
That's what you get when you ship like it's 1,000 packages a day. They give you one of these trucks.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Okay. Next up, as seen on the show and tell, Lady Ada, what was on the show and tell tonight? Which I think is one of the most fantastic show and tells.
This was a fantastic show and tell indeed. Start out with Tony DeCola, who usually does a CC3000 project, Wi-Fi, Arduino type project. Not this week. This week he ported the Trellis tutorial and code to Python, so it will work on the BeagleBone Black. Trellis is our elastomer button platform that allows you to add little buttons and LEDs to anything, including your BeagleBone Black. And he made a little memory game, so that's cool. Maybe we'll convince him to put on the learning system.
Yeah. I think we can convince him.
I think we
he
can
wants
convince him.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's already doing it.
I think he's probably already did it. Okay, next up we had Noah and Pedro, who work with us on all sorts of cool videos and 3D printing projects. The project that you see every 3D Thursday, that's their projects. And they were showing off a Google Glass clip that allows you to use your Google Glass little wearable computer thingy with any pair of glasses, not just the glasses that they want to sell you, but your own glasses. So if you believe in freedom for what glasses you want to connect your Google Glass to, check this out. They do have a tutorial that they're working on. They're almost done with, and a video. So hopefully by next Thursday, or maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow it'll be posted, and you can attach your Google Glass to your glasses. Especially good for us with prescription glasses.
Okay.
They also showed off a little Adventure Time animated face 3D printed necklace thing. I actually have not watched Adventure Time. I'm not cool anymore. I was with it, and then it changed. But I think it was called the Beano or Bimo. I don't know. I feel bad. I gotta go watch the show so I know what it is. It's a cute little like kind of Game Boy looking thing. I think that's kind of what it.
Yeah, Beamobot. Adventure
Beamobot?
Time.
Okay, and it has a cute animated face. Used Gemma and one of our 8x8 backpacks to make an animated display face for this 3D printed cute robot friend who goes with you everywhere. Next up, we had, what's that say? But you're right.
That was Marcella. I think. Yeah,
no,
I think so.
Marcella was the news thing. Oh boy, I can't read this name. I think it's McKinnon. All right, sorry if I got your name wrong.
I have bad handwriting. I don't even remember what I wrote.
Okay, I'm gonna write it from now on.
Yeah.
Showed off a cool PS3 to Arduino adapter cable thing that uses an Ethernet cord. It's for creating custom game controllers that are PlayStation 3 compatible. And you can make the cable as long as you want using Ethernet cord, everyday Ethernet cord. So that's kind of nice. I like that idea. Sorry, I know your name starts with MC.
I'll write the words more clear next time. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just Marcella was next.
Yeah.
Marcella showed off a music reactive like Arduino TV thing that he made to test his headphone amp that he made. So it displays the decibels, how loud the audio amp is. But then he also started making some cool like cubes that twist to the music, and there's like oscilloscope mode where it like shows the music in left and right channels. Also made like an XY sort of fizzy thing looking audio thing. So totally, if you want your room to just look like a 90s goth club, because all the goth clubs I went to always had these sorts of things going on the TVs, you can do that. And he's also in the Netherlands. That's kind of neat. Check that out. Janin, who has been on the show multiple times showing off his custom Tetris game, is back. And this time he actually went, and instead of just having his RGB Tetris game on breadboards, he went all the way to making circuit boards, getting them manufactured, stuffing them, and I guess they worked right the first time, which is way better than me. I usually take 3 revisions to get a PCB right. He got it right the first time, and he made an adorable handheld rechargeable color Tetris game with these like beautiful RGB matrices and custom buttons, and it has a piezo beeper, and it has a buzzer, and it sings songs, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was a good project.
And it's just it looks so cool. It's way cooler than any toys I ever had. Definitely better than Flappy Bird. Next up, Erin came by, and Erin, Robot Girl, who has shown off her RoboBird multiple times. This time was showing off another accessibility project, and this one is for Nintendo DS. And she says, Pokemon's only available on the Nintendo DS, and so if you want to play a Nintendo DS game but you can't hold up the game console for some reason and you want to have a more accessible game system, she's apparently done the first and only DS mod to bring out the buttons and create a custom controller for Nintendo DS so you can play Pokemon. She also had another really big robot, but she's going to show that next week, so come back next week to show off that cool project because it was a gigantic robot. And then finally, Dee came by, and his cats are all named after programming language. And his cat Pearl was stepping all over his awesome custom-made clock that uses an Arduino compatible that we make called the Menta. And it has a real-time clock and a couple servos. And then on every hour, a little servo pops up, and there's a Dalek, and it like twists around, and it kind of makes like the Dalek like nee, like alert sound. And it also sometimes displays the year or the month. And it was a really cute clock. It uses a 7-segment display, one of our 7-segment backpacks, and it was nice and green. And then Hangout got all wonky. And that was the end of the half hour.
Yeah.
And those are the projects we showed off.
Okay, Lady Ada. All participants on the show and tell get a scene on a show and tell sticker. If you're on the show and tell and you showed your projects, send an email to support@adafruit.com and you get a scene on the show and tell sticker.
They're very cute. They're like this big.
How does someone get on the show and tell?
What was it? And to get into the show and tell?
How did they get on the show and tell?
Oh, how did they get on there?
Yeah.
Everyone who showed a project on the show and tell, this is what they did. First up, they went to a Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit. Then they found one of the posts recently that said, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. Then we added them to the show and tell circle. After that, every single Wednesday, like this Wednesday at about 7:30 p.m., we invited them, those people, those very cool people we just talked about, to show off their custom electronics or otherwise projects on the show and tell. It is awesome. Join the other couple hundred people who have done so and be cool. And every week we always have a party.
Yeah, that's fun. One of
And the cats.
the longest running and best live electronic show and tell. It's
How come they all have cats? I've never seen. Well, sometimes there's lizards.
We had a lizard. We had
Lizard.
yeah. There's horses.
I think there's horses.
Yeah.
I mean, the horse was never like a living horse. We never saw
We
a
had a
horse.
dead
live.
horse.
No, I'm saying there was like images of horses.
I don't remember that, or maybe it was so traumatic I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
There's
keep.
a horse farm.
All right. Just a reminder: codes V-Day, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store until midnight tonight. Everything is in stock. Except Mailbag. It's my favorite time. Mailbag. Here's Packet. Packet comes in, brings in mail. These are letters and emails and all sorts of things that people send us. This one's from
Well, it's a long
Mark.
one.
I just want to send a thank you note to everyone to say thank you for being such a great bunch of folks to work with. If ever a small business deserves recognition for being better than the big guys, you guys do. From the products you sell, the information you provide on the websites and blogs, to the service you provide before, during, and after the sale, to the things you're constantly contributing to the community, it's all very much appreciated by this satisfied customer and fellow maker. And I can't help but believe, by great many others, I may not possess the level of knowledge or expertise, but I can recognize commitment in doing so and a good job when I see it. I hope you guys go home at the end of the day feeling good about what you've helped to create. Best regards, Mike.
Good job.
Well, you know, it's all you guys out there who support Adafruit, and that makes us do what we do. So thank you, everybody.
I like these notes because it's really great to get people saying how wonderful things are and not, hey, how come this library doesn't work with the Dewey?
Yeah. Well,
You
you
know,
know,
my emails.
actually, and as
Although we're getting almost all of them done.
for people out there who want to run a company or you have employees, so one of the things that happens with companies is you just kind of get the complaint email. So like today I was on the phone with someone. They were very upset that the Postal Service lost their order. And you know, at first they blame us, and I understand. And it's not our fault, but we talk about it, and we work with the customer. And then they sent a really nice email right afterwards, and it was fantastic. So even though there's complaint emails and you know that you could get hung up on that, you should celebrate the good ones too.
Yeah.
And so we read these at our weekly meeting called State of the Fruit.
Yes.
And we have everyone
Every Friday.
everyone in the entire company participates in it. And we read these. And so we like to celebrate all the things, improving any customer service issues, and then also when they send nice emails to us, we
Yeah.
like to do that too.
There's a little bit of a thing. So we was talking to some, I don't remember who, but they were selling a product. This was their first time, and they said, well, we sent out all these shipments, and I didn't hear anything back. So I'm worried. And I said, no. If you don't hear anything, it means everything worked great.
Yeah.
You'll hear about it if there's any problems with what you made or what you sold.
So-
If anything's lost or broken or not documented right, you'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
if you don't hear anything, usually that means everything worked out quite well. So.
Okay. So thank you everybody for those emails. Next up,
And send us emails if you haven't.
Lady Ada, we have some Fritzing stuff on the site. What
Yes.
is in the new Fritzing library? What is this?
Fritzing Friday. Today we have our 5-pad capacitive touch sensor breakout. This one's a nice breakout because it doesn't use a microcontroller at all. It just has capacitive touch to pin up and down. It's kind of nice. It's the AT42QT1070. Has 5 pins. Very handy.
Okay.
We also have the 1.3-inch color OLED. It's a really great little OLED. We recently put it in the shop, and yeah, it's nice. It's SPI. Works great with microcontrollers. It's only 1.3 inches, so it's small but cute. Would be a great little wearable or watch display.
Okay. Next up, we have Cats of Engineering. It's the largest collection of cats on the internet that do engineering. This is a new photo sent in. It's an animated GIF, one of our first in the Cats of Engineering section, adafruit.com/cats of engineering. Send your picture of a cat doing engineering. Has to be a cat, has to be
I
engineering.
don't know that this cat's doing engineering. I think
What?
maybe it's debugging something.
Look, when you were doing the thermal printer, you looked exactly like this. This is
Okay.
Cats doing engineering.
So it's a cat with one of our thermal printers.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
totally exactly what it is. You've done this. I've seen you do this, and you're an engineer.
I don't usually wear like a fur coat and just like poke at it all day, but okay.
Besides the fur coat, it's very accurate.
All right,
Okay.
that's what it's like.
Next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. I have a couple interesting things that's happened in the last week. The first one, this is a really good thing. This is one of those things that I saw on the open source hardware list. It's the model trademark guidelines. So this is from an attorney who worked at Red Hat, I believe. And she drafted up, you know how you go to some websites and it's like, here's how you should use our trademark. Here's the things that are okay. Here's the things that are not okay.
Yeah.
So they put together a giant wiki, and anybody who does open source can just use it and put in their own. So let's say if you have the Mozilla trademark or Firefox, and you wanted to have the terms of service and the trademark usage clearly spelled out for everyone, because you have events, and you want people to use their stuff, but not in the bad way. This is the resource.
Okay.
So a good
That's actually really nice. It's like
really
it's boilerplate, but for open source use, because it's like we're not as picky, but still, it's interesting. It's like there's some, like you see like the Raspberry Pi trademark. They're very particular about how they want to use it. They're like, this is our logo, this is our trademark. You can't just put Raspberry Pi on anything.
So from the start, Raspberry Pi did that, and it's one of the reasons you don't see like a proliferation of the Raspberry Pi trademark being diluted and used in lots of different ways. And then you see some other open source marks that for open source projects that didn't have that, and so it gets diluted. One of the examples that people point to is they're always worried about Arduino, because they're like, oh, like I saw the Arduino on all this stuff, all these clones. It got cloned and cloned and cloned, and people use the exact logo.
It's not even the clone. It's actually just like it's like Picduino. It's like it's not actually an Arduino, but it's confusing.
No, it's not even that. It's the counter. So? No, it's the counterfeits. The people actually using the logo and selling it as their own. And so because there's not a ton of resources and guidelines and very strict, the community couldn't point and say, hey, that's wrong. Yeah. So they're starting to do that now. In fact, Arduino just added a community mark set of guidelines. So things are improving. This is a really good one. If you're doing an open source project, hardware or software, and you have a trademark and you want to let the community do some stuff with it, this is a resource for you. Okay. So, next up, we had a hardware hangout. Lane from Osh Park is a open source hardware hero. He has the Purple board service that everybody knows. Watch
Purple PCB perfection.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube. It's on there right now, youtube.com/Adafruit, and watch the 45-minute interview with Lady Ada, myself, and Lane. It is fantastic. Everything about his business, talking about how he got where he's at.
How he ships, where he gets his mailers from.
Yeah. Why Purple?
How many PCBs does he get made every day?
Okay.
How many employees he had, and all sorts of interesting things I never do.
Yeah. Next up, we have a BeagleBone Black contest. You get to win a case. Pretty much if you enter, you're probably going to win. We're giving away 10 a week. We had our first round of winners, and I just want to go over this. Let me just go through 10
photos. 40 cases total.
Yeah, we only have 30 we're going to give away next. Okay. So here's some of the winners. It's a screen with the BeagleBone Black.
Screen.
It's this robot thing.
Robo thing.
Yeah. It's...
It's another thing.
Yeah, oops.
It's another little
It's
screen.
an LCD thing.
A mini screen.
Yeah, it's a Nixie tube thing. Yeah.
Nixie.
It's a Game Boy-like thing.
It's a game, yeah.
It's controlling LEDs. It's a pen plotter.
Oh, cool.
It's some type of crazy
logic analyzer. Something, RFID thing.
It's another gaming.
Another gaming thing.
And then, I can't say it's favorite because I don't want to play favorite, but it's kind of my favorite. Here's light painting with a pixel painter with a Raspberry Pi.
I think this is...
with a BeagleBone Black.
It looks like it's based off of our...
Yeah, based off the Raspberry Pi. BeagleBone Black stuff. Very cool.
Yeah, the
congratulations.
Arduino NeoPixel painter.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone who won. We sent out the 10 cases immediately. All you have to do is take a photo of your BeagleBone Black stuff, project, whatever, and pound BeagleBone Black case.
I'm not saying that we favor ones that have all sorts of cool glowing LEDs in them, but we kind of do. We kind of do. Look.
Maybe. Okay.
Well, I'm biased towards the LEDs.
Okay, next up. Adafruit Learning System, we have a couple new tutorials. We've got two on the big site, learn.adafruit.com. Lady Ada, which one is this?
This one is a Bluefruit tutorial. So this is using the Bluefruit Easy Link, which is the easiest way to create a Bluetooth connection between a Arduino, for example, and a computer. It's a transparent serial link module, and it's better than any other one because it does automatic baud rate detection and it does auto reset for Arduino, so you can program an Arduino remotely. So this is used for a Bluetooth temperature and humidity sensor that you can reprogram, and it sends data back to the host computer, and then you can use a little bit of software like Python in this case to graph or otherwise log your data. So Bluetooth works up to 50 feet or so. This is good for you want to measure temperature and humidity somewhere over there, and just have it piped directly to your computer as a COM port or a serial port. This is a great tutorial. Check it out.
Okay, next up. You wanted it. You were waiting. A Bluefoot wireless foot switch.
Yeah, so we saw a couple projects that people, or not the projects are products that people had built or were trying to make that basically were a one key keyboard that you press with your foot. So, for example, a page turner is a pretty common thing. So if you're, for example, playing music and you use an iPad as your music stand, you'd want to be able to swipe through the pages without actually having to pick up your hand and swipe, especially if you're playing piano or violin, which kind of, it's annoying to like stop and turn the page. So this would be a page turner for you, or maybe you just want to do dictation, or you're transcoding or something, or translating. So this is a foot switch, and we have these little foot switches, and you press them in there. There's a switch inside, and this is connected to another Bluetooth product we make, the Adafruit Easy Key, and this is the easiest way to make a Bluetooth keyboard. In fact, no programming is required at all. You just connect the 2 pins of the switch to the 2 of the pins on the Bluetooth, and that's it. That's all you got to do. Just give it some power. I think we use like a battery pack here. And it runs for a week or so without having to change the batteries. You can use rechargeable batteries. And then every time you press the switch, a key is sent to your computer. So I think in this case it was page down, or the down arrow. So you press it to hold the page down arrow. So just like the Bluetooth, you can use it with a mouse. You can have a mouse click, or you can have a key command. I thought it'd be cool to have it so when you press it, it takes a screenshot, because I'm always taking screenshots, and that way I don't have to like stop and like do the key combo. It would automatically screenshot and save to my desktop. So check out this project if you want to make a wireless foot switch.
Okay. Next up, Time Travel Tuesday, things in the world of makers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
The history of makers.
History of makers, all that. This week, happy birthday, Thomas Edison.
Edison.
Yeah.
We went to GE in upstate New York. No,
We
not
did.
even upstate. Well, kind of upstate-ish.
Upstate-ish.
And yeah, he's got a lot of patents.
Okay. Next up. The first use of the word robot was in 1938, BBC Television. They made a science fiction show and coined the term robot.
This is the first TV use of the word robot, because the robot word was used in the play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. That was the first television science fiction program that had that.
That had a robot.
And
okay.
that's where robot was broadcast.
Robot.
So we're almost done with our RS for Robot coloring book. You'll see that soon.
Yeah. What's J for?
Oh, I told you today.
Yeah, I'm seeing if you remember.
No, I don't. And
Jacquard loom.
Jacquard loom. I'm the one working on it too.
Okay. The J's for Jacquard looms. It's
Yeah.
not just killer robots or drones or
No,
flying
it's like
robots.
the first robot.
It's like also
Yeah.
cool historical robots like Jacquard looms.
Yeah. At 2:30, I knew everything about it, and then
No,
somewhere
I
around
know. Now it's a little late.
Yeah.
All right, look, whatever. It's
All
not
right.
the quiz question.
Yeah, I would have not got the prize. But I'm the one who researched it.
I know. That's why I was actually quite impressed. I'm like, that's a really cool robot to put in
Yeah.
as J.
It's a cool coloring book. Okay.
That's cool coloring.
All right, so we filmed this really awesome manufacturing video. We're not going to have time to show the whole thing, but I'm going to show like the first couple minutes of it. This is all about the fade candy, and we manufacture them here at Adafruit. Micah stopped by, and Micah and Lady Ada.
Micah designed the board.
Yeah.
And then she said she was selling them, and she said, she's like, I'm tired of soldering these by hand.
Yeah.
And she said, and because we sell NeoPixels, a lot of people were like, well, we want to buy them from Adafruit. She was like, well, I don't want to go through contract manufacturing. Can you just like take this project and like, we give her a royalty, we work together, and everything works out, but she doesn't have to solder the boards by hand. And so I said, yeah, and she said, I'm actually coming to New York this week. I said, yeah, why don't you come by? Because we ordered the PCBs and we ordered a stencil, and like, let's film what it's like to program in a board. The first time we get the PCBs, the stencil, all the components together,
Yeah.
What is it like to actually get our awesome equipment that was very expensive to manufacture these PCBs? And this is what we do for every single design. So we do this, 1 or 2 or 3 times a week for every new PCB that we manufacture. We program it in, and what's cool is that she got to see it and was like, wow, this is neat. I never understood exactly how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
We got to film the whole thing.
So this is an 8-minute long video, and it has, I think it's the best manufacturing video out there because you don't really see this from start to finish. So I'm gonna,
This is start to finish.
Yeah, so I'm going to show the first 2 minutes,
Okay.
and then we're going to come back and do the rest of the show.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll the film.
Yeah, she talks about fake candy and then
Yeah.
stenciling. Yeah. Okay, we're here at the Adafruit factory in Soho, and with me is Micah, also known as Scanline, who's designed the awesome Fade Candy board in high demand, very popular board. Tell me about it.
So it kind of is, it's an LED controller. It's something that came out of a bunch of art projects I did with the NeoPixel WS2011 LEDs. I kind of stumbled upon a way to make them look a little bit better using some new algorithms that give them better color quality, but it was really difficult to use. So this kind of turned into a project where I wanted to take that same quality and kind of make it more accessible to people, to make it easy for people to make art projects that just had a lot more room for creativity and less just kind of blinky on-off all the time.
How many NeoPixels can you drive?
This handles all the frames of RGB data coming from your art program, and it runs the dithering algorithms, sort of smooths out all the color, and then drives up to 512 NeoPixels.
And you can control it via processing and other programs that you send serial data to, or what's the protocol?
There's an open source daemon that speaks the USB protocol that this board uses, and then that daemon takes data over this open pixel control protocol.
Okay, great.
There are examples for processing, Python, Node.js, HTML5.
So we took this design and we just tweaked it a little bit. For example, we use a mini USB jack. Some of the components are a little bit larger, so that we could pick and place it here at Adafruit so that you don't have to hand assemble these boards. So we've got this high-speed Samsung and this high-speed Speedline stencil printer, and we're gonna work together to make perfect boards every time in fractions of a second.
Yes, it really beats spending all day, all night soldering these things myself.
I'm glad they invented these machines for us.
Yes.
All right, let's get going. We're ready to program this board into the pick and place, the Samsung. We're gonna do that with Andy's help. Oh, what color did you want the LED?
I used kind of a yellow LED.
Okay. We have yellow. We could, but I said blue, but I didn't know if you want red or green. We have red, green, and yellow loaded. Yellow's just not as bright.
Blue seems a little cliche. I mean, I don't know.
One with classic red.
I would go with green maybe.
Okay. Can we go with green on the LED? Yeah. So we took your design, the Fade Candy board, and we panelized it. And what that means is we took it and we copy and pasted it 5 times by 4 times, so it's 20 PCBs per sheet. And this means, we pick and place 20 at a time. The pick and place is really smart. It actually calculates how fast it can pick up 6 components at a time and place them. Watching it place parts is fun because it doesn't do it the way you would do it as a human, where you would just be all the resistors, all the USBs, all the capacitors. It doesn't place them in order. It does them in whatever order is fastest. Super fast.
Nice.
Now it's time for the fun part. We have to load in the feeders because we get all the parts on reels. They need to be in this feeder for the machine to be able to pick out the parts.
Looks really complicated.
It's kind of like riding a bicycle. You fall down and you skin your knee a couple times, but then you eventually figure it out. And then this goes here, and you see there's a channel. And then what you do is you peel the top tape off, which is why you need fingernails. Peel off the cover tape, and then you want to get it right before where the parts start.
Okay, for the exciting conclusion, do they make the boards?
Can we load the feeders? Do we just fall over and give up?
Yeah.
Or do we end up with completed functioning boards? How does the stencil work? What does it look like after it's pasted?
Yeah.
Does it pass JTAG test?
Does Andy return in the video? Everyone wants to know.
Everyone wants to know.
He's up for an Academy Award this year for his supporting role. I don't know if you knew that.
All right.
Best actor. Okay.
It was a great video. Do check it out. It's from 2 weeks ago, but I just released it.
Next, wearables. Got some wearable stuff going on. In case you didn't know, we have a wearable electronics show every Wednesday here. Becky
At 2
Stern.
o'clock.
Yeah, with Becky Stern.
Starring Becky Stern.
And then we...
With the special guest Becky Stern.
And we also have all of the blog posts on Wearable Wednesdays, which is today.
Yeah.
And all the things. Now, if you've seen both shows, you're going to see a little bit of duplication because I'm so excited about the following.
Okay.
The NeoPixel ring hit the runway.
Yep.
In a big way this year.
Is this New York Fashion Week?
New York Fashion Week. And
winter.
And the NeoPixel is part of clothing. It's part of accessories.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is the safe for work photos too.
Yeah, there's really racy ones.
There's really
Hide your kids.
Oh boy.
No, but and here is the outfit glowing, and this is fantastic.
This is awesome, and it was actually a bunch of magazines, fashion magazines, and fashion blogs picked this up because this was the only futuristic, glowing cyber fashion. And they were like, "This is the future."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah,
So
we're the future."
one of our goals was to get Flora and Gemma and NeoPixels into fashion. We're in Soho. We like being in New York. There's lots of fashion here, and this worked out. There's lots of people using this stuff.
Yep.
There was other things going on. This is actually from someone who worked with Adafruit in the past, and it's just using NeoPixels and lots of kind of very vibrant scenery.
Yeah.
And then
It's
there's
like blacklightish, maybe. And then there's
Crocs
also shoes,
with
Crocs that were modified.
Firewalkers. Yeah.
They turned into Firewalkers. This is another from a different designer set. First one was Chromat, and this one is Degen.
Yeah.
So 2 designers at New York Fashion Week had runway shows with NeoPixels in it.
Yeah, and then just like it was just crazy. Everything was
This is
awesome.
crazy.
So and then last but not least, Louis Vuitton had a resistor sweater. I don't think they knew what was on the sweater or anything.
This is great. I said this too because I was looking through the runway because I was actually like, who knows? Maybe there's other fashion shows. But I like this because this reminded me of you do the physics problem of like if you have an infinite grid of resistors.
Oh no.
What's the resistor? So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
That was exactly what it looks like. I mean, it looks a little bit too much like that. It makes me a little suspicious.
This fall, Horowitz and Hill decided to stop working on their Art of Electronics book, and they got into fashion, and here it is. They have a fashion line now.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd wear that.
Okay.
And I'm wearing Transistor Man.
Yeah, mixed up.
Very fashionable.
3D printing. Okay, we have a lot of stuff going on in the world of 3D printing. This week, we wanted to do something interesting. So roses are red, violets are blue, but
Except
we
for
have
roses are black.
we have a 3D printer, so that's what I got you. So this is some great 3D printed black roses. We have a link to the file. I kind of like the contrast of the 3D printed black roses and real roses because roses, they're picked and they die, and these 3D printed ones
They forever.
will last a little bit longer. So he took some photos, and here they are. Lady Ada has them right here. Look at this. So you really have those.
Yeah. So yeah, they're cool. They're like very mathematical because they're symmetric. But I really like them. I like the little leaves down here.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have a very special project that anyone can make for this Halloween. Sorry, it's not
Valentine's
Halloween.
Day.
It's not Halloween, folks. I know there's other holidays besides Halloween. There's other holidays.
You wear black for every holiday. That's why you're so confused.
I meant Valentine's Day. So
Okay.
So here it is.
You can dress up like a robot.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the video.
Play the video.
Light up your Valentine's geeky heart with our 3D printed Adabot card using LEDs and bare conductive paint.
Hey everybody, it's me, Adabot.
Turning the gears applies pressure to the heart, lighting up the LEDs. You can print out our design or customize it to make your own. Print your card in multiple colors by using the change filament option available in most FDM 3D printers. Make your card interactive by printing multiple parts like these rotating gears. The LEDs are powered by 2 small coin cell batteries that are hidden behind the heart. Bare conductive paint makes it easy to connect these LEDs without any solder. Just draw lines to connect the terminals and let it dry.
Excellent.
A dab of bare conductive paint will hold these batteries in place, or you can also use copper tape. Rotating the gears applies pressure to the heart, which bridges the connection to the battery, lighting up the LEDs. A strip of copper tape on the back of the heart bridges the connections. You can also apply copper tape directly on the batteries to keep the LEDs on. What romantic ideas would you 3D print? Tell us in the comments below. Printing out some lovely prints? Post them up and let us know.
Super cute project.
Okay, sorry.
You can make it
Give me my
home
new
from Noah and Pedro.
I like how it combines like 5 different like geeky techniques. There's got like the 3D printing,
Yeah.
the bare conductive, and electronics.
Yeah, it's great. Just a reminder, code is VDAY, 10% off everything in Adafruit Store that's in stock. We do have one more segment that we're going to do. This is Pi Day
Okay.
every Friday, and Pi Day has some fun stuff. So this Pi Day, this is coming up pretty soon. Here's a quick little fun video. It's a time lapse of building the PiCam and also some more 3D printing. So I wanted to save these two. So this is another combination. You were just talking
So
about.
much 3D printing.
You were just talking about the combination that you'd like. So
Okay, let's check this out.
here it is. And that's That's your Pi project.
That's so cute.
Yeah, cool project, right?
I like that. I love how the parts like pop up on the iPad. Oh,
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Okay, Lady Ada, you know what time it is.
It's my time.
It's your time.
To shine.
It is products. Okay.
Wait, I thought we had a song.
We do, but we can't hear it. But
Oh.
everybody out there can hear it.
Okay.
And then they hear us going do 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 do.
Okay.
What do you want?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
What do you
All right.
want?
Let's do these new products.
Okay, in the store, Intel, Galileo, designed in Ireland, Arduino certified. You know
Sounds
you
like a
want one.
beast.
Yeah, I think we're the only people that have them in stock right now. And you can get them right now. And you can get them at 10% off too, which is not
A good deal.
a great deal for us, but a great deal for you.
Good deal for you.
So
no deal for
Lady
us.
Ada, what is a Galileo?
So this is the box. So the Galileo is an Intel project where they're showing off how you can use their Intel processors sort of like as embedded controllers. A lot of people, when they think of embedded microcontroller or microprocessors, not microcontrollers, you'd think of like little STMs or PICs or ABRs. For microprocessors, a lot of people think about ARM core, and ARM and Intel are not really good friends. And so Intel's like, well, I can do something like that too. So they're showing off, what they can do with their processor. Actually, I don't remember the name of the processor in the Galileo. I know it's like an x86 type thing, but they basically took this processor and they added Arduino headers, and they have sort of some glue software that lets you kind of write Arduino-like code on it. Arduino certified it, but not all shields are going to work because it goes through an I2C converter. And it's really powerful. It's got Ethernet. You can plug in PCI cards. I get PCI Wi-Fi cards. Comes with power adapters. What else comes with it? Has Ethernet on board, USB, all sorts of stuff. And it's basically an extremely powerful microcomputer. I think it's much more powerful than the Raspberry Pi even. Do you remember what the specs are? Funny, there's no specs on the box.
It's basically like a 486, but
I feel bad. I didn't research this because we didn't have any. This
Yeah,
is
we
like
have all the
finally
specs
got,
on our site.
We got like 2 yesterday.
yeah.
We'll
We
check
have
it
a
out.
lot right now, and they're gonna go really fast. So if you want to get them, you probably get one right
So
now.
people are starting to do projects with them, mostly,
It's
Internet
like
of
400
Things type-
megahertz atom or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it. Totally on a processor. But you can do, projects where you have like sensor data in and out, and it connects to Wi-Fi or the internet. So I'm seeing projects like that. So projects are slowly coming out. It's still really new. A lot of people don't have them. They gave away like 50,000 of them to schools. So we'll be seeing more projects in the future. So this is another addition to the Raspberry Pi BeagleBone Black and similar PAL.
I like the tray coming up. I think that one's gonna be
Tray.
interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, so next up, we have
From Intel. If you're an Intel fan, if you don't like AMD, get this.
cables,
Cable. This is a DisplayPort to
cable and cable.
DisplayPort mini cable. It's just a kind of basic DisplayPort cable. We are carrying this as an accessory for our DisplayPort mini monitor, which is not quite ready yet, but will be soon. So we have,
Stop back. We're gonna have an awesome Retina display monitor
Can't
that you
see
can
it.
make yourself.
Qualia.
Yeah. It's,
We're still thinking of the name. We're not sure exactly.
we have
what it
some
is.
names.
We have some new ideas. But it's a little mini monitor that uses the same screen that's used in the iPad 3 and iPad 4, which is called a Retina screen. But it's just the LG screen that's extremely high resolution. And it uses DisplayPort, so we have a cable, 10-foot long DisplayPort cable. That's what it's for.
Okay.
That's why. If you're wondering, like, hey, what can I do with this? It's
Next
for
up.
something that doesn't exist yet.
It's this thing.
This is a headphone jack. It's a stereo headphone jack that is breadboard friendly. And we actually have been using this particular jack in a bunch of our kits and projects. We have it in the Brain Machine kit, in the Wave Shield kit, and now we have it as sort of a standalone item.
Plug-in thing.
Wait, and then hold on, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
Can you show? Sorry, yeah. So you can see you can stick a 3.5 millimeter stereo plug into it, and then there's 5 pins, and they're basically spaced 0.1 inches apart, so you can plug it into a breadboard and have audio, video, whatever you want. It has 5 pins because there's a switch on the left and right channel. People who don't need to have a switched input, just connect those, or don't connect the middle inner pins. And then next up is
You
a
wanted to show-
pigtail.
Oh, you wanted to show
Yeah,
this?
I'm going to show this. So this is a
Okay.
3. Oh, can you hide me?
Yeah, go over there. No, just kidding.
There you go. So this is a 3.5 millimeter pigtail cable, and it's a 3.5 millimeter right angle connector on stereo on one side, and then it comes out to wires, black ground, I think white is left and red is right channel. And we carry this because it's just handy for when you want to connect something to audio, input or output, and you don't want to solder, cut and strip the wires. The reason is that most headphone cables, they don't have easy to solder to wires. The wires are really, really thin, and they kind of dissolve, actually. And so these are really nice tinned wires. They're really good. You can plug them into a breadboard. You can solder to them without having to worry about them dissolving.
Okay.
And these two go together. You know, you can plug
Yeah, you
the
got that one.
pigtail into the jack, and then
I understand now.
There's a
you
photo.
wanted to show that one, then you can show this one because you're like, look,
Aha.
look, we got this thing, and it's looking over here, and it's like, hey, you, and it's like,
Plug
hey,
in.
let's hang out.
okay.
All right,
Thank you.
a little bit of a detour there for me.
I know there's a lot going. Well, because two products that are similar, but I wanted to show them together.
Okay. Next up, I'm gonna
Okay.
get to some of our stuff that we
That
just put in.
sound-
Our
Party time.
Adafruit originals.
Okay, this is Adafruit Original. This is the TPA 2016. The D2 stands for digital stereo, 2-channel. This is a Class D amplifier, and we have a couple Class D amps in the store already, but this one's very interesting because this one has I2C volume control, and it's an automatic gain control amplifier. So most of the other amps we have, there's no way to digitally control it, like setting the volume or left-right channel. You basically have to use a potentiometer externally. So this is an amplifier that's meant to be controlled by a microcontroller, and it's I2C. It's very easy to use, and it's got, it's basically centered I2C. So you can use this amplifier. It's up to 2.8 watt stereo amp, and you can control the volume and gain parameters over I2C. You can control it with an Arduino, for example. So I have a demo for this.
We're gonna do a live demo.
Are you ready?
No, not at all.
No?
I'm not
Okay.
ready. I'm not ready for live demo. I don't
Okay.
think anybody's ready for
I'm
live.
not ready for live demo, but I'm going to try it anyway.
No one's ready for live demo. Okay, we're gonna do this.
So here is my Arduino, and I've it connected to the amplifier here, and then to 2 speakers. And then I have like a little music playing shield over here that I'm going to plug in. And I'm actually using the pigtail here to plug it directly into this amplifier. So I'm using the Arduino to control it, but the audio is coming from this MP3 player over here. So then I have Og Vorbis music.
Og Vorbis. It plays Og Vorbis.
Oh, the MP3 shield. Yeah, I need to, because you're worried about like a copyright violation, like with the YouTube stuff. This
Yeah.
is not copyright. This is Creative Commons.
Yeah.
So right now it's quiet, but I can increase the volume or reduce the
Wow.
volume. The button is read by the Arduino, which then increases or decreases the volume. And I turned off the automatic gain control because it's actually kind of hard to understand automatic gain control over like the span of 5 seconds. I'll turn this down now. The automatic gain control, what that can do is, let's say you have spoken word, or like a voice, or even some music, and each track is slightly different in volume. One track is so loud that it clips the amplifier and it causes like weird distortions, and one is so quiet you can't hear it. What you can do with the automatic gain control is the amplifier will listen to the volume of music or spoken word or whatever over the course of about 5 to 10 seconds, and it will slowly increase the volume, slowly, until you get to this nice normalized kind of volume standard that you want, and so all the music and spoken word all sounds about the same. It's useful if you don't necessarily want to be able to have somebody tweaking the volume constantly. You want to try to normalize it as much as possible. So you don't have to use it. It's an extra in this amplifier. It's something that the amplifier can do automatically for you. But you can turn it off over I2C, and we have a tutorial as well that shows
Okay.
all this stuff.
Good work, you. And look how tiny it is. Look, a little tiny.
It's a little
tiny.
amplifier.
Okay. We also have another photo of it.
There you go.
on the other side. No, we do.
So it's
I gotta show everything.
Yeah, so you can see on the left power, the right and left inputs, and then SCL, SDA, I2C, VCC.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can drive 8 ohm or 4 ohm speakers. It's a nice. We're gonna have a couple more audio amps because these things are so handy all the time, and you want to have loud audio.
Data, what is this?
Next up, we have a 9 DOF. We already had a 10 DOF, which is a 10 degree of freedom board, and some people don't actually need a barometric pressure sensor like altitude sensor, temperature sensor. They just want motion sensing. So this has 9 degrees of freedom. It has, on the left there is a gyro, and the gyro can do up to 2,000 degrees per second, from 250 degrees per second up to 2,000 degrees per second of rotation, gyroscope motion control. And then on the right, you can see there's another chip, and that's an LSM 303, and that can do triple axis acceleration from, I think, plus or minus 2G up to plus or minus 16G, and also compass, magnetometer, which basically is which way is north, which way is south. You can also detect magnetic magnets and stuff, but for the most part, people want to measure the magnetic force of the north and south poles to kind of help you orient yourself. And a 9 DOF sensor, so the 10 DOF sensor is basically this plus a barometric pressure sensor, which does altitude. For a lot of people, if they're doing robots, they don't need to know how high they are off the ground. They just, in meters, they need to just basically know motion. So this is a little bit less expensive because we don't solder on the barometric pressure sensor. And we'll be doing some more projects with these kinds of sensors, for example, an automatic heading and rotation software example for people who basically want to take all this data and fuse it together into knowing which way is their project oriented, which is good for robotics or some spatial sensing stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a robot, you have a quadcopter, you have some flying thing, you have a moving thing, you want to have motion analysis or control. This is probably the sensor board you want. Got a nice 4 mounting holes so you can really plug it in and have it be very secure.
Okay. I want you to answer just a couple questions about the audio amp.
Yeah, audio amp.
And then we'll continue on. So, Lady Ada.
Yes.
For the audio amp, what kind of audio amplifier would be ideal for using electric guitar with one of the 8 ohm speakers from Adafruit? Is there one?
All of the amplifiers that we have in the shop can do 8 ohm speakers. They can do up to about 1.7 watts into an 8 ohm speaker. Soon we will have, in a couple weeks, we will have an amplifier that can do 20 watts, or maybe I think 17 watts into an 8 ohm speaker. It's not quite ready yet. So it depends on how big your speaker is. If it's a small speaker about this big, or maybe a watt or two, the amplifiers in the store will be great. If you have an 8 ohm speaker that's really big, you might want to wait for our 20 watt amplifier.
Okay. And then 2 other quick questions, because the Arduino power the amp, and are those fiducials or test points?
We have fiducials on every board, and if you watch the Micah video, you'll even find out why. So go watch that video. And then what was the other question?
Can the Arduino power the amp?
You can power the amplifier through the USB port, but you won't be able to get as much power as you might like, because a USB port can only provide 5 volts at half an amp, so it's 2.5 watts. And the amplifier can do 2.8 watts into each channel, so it's 5.5 watts total. So not a good idea if you want it to be really loud to have it powered via USB. For that, I would suggest powering it separately with our 5 volt 2 amp wall adapter, or you can use battery pack if you want to get that full 5.5 watts.
Okay, well, 2 more quick questions, because this is a popular
More
product.
watts.
Can the amp run the bone transducers?
Yes, it can. We don't have a specific tutorial for it yet, but a bone conduction transducer is basically just an 8 ohm speaker. The amplifier sees it as an 8 ohm speaker. So yeah, when we were testing the bone conduction amp, we used these Class D amplifiers, and we'd use them to press against our bones.
Okay, and then one last thing. Someone was curious about why the H shape for the design. It's very, very interesting.
This is a K-Town joint, and this is his style.
Kevin Townsend, our lead engineer, and he does really beautiful designs.
He does beautiful design. So the bone shape is, well, first off, we had a couple sensors, and there's certain clearances we wanted to give them. And so that sort of just defined the size of it. But for something that does motion sensing like this, especially one with a gyroscope, you really want to have it be attached strongly to whatever it's measuring, because any vibrations, it can come loose. it won't be measuring what's moving as effectively. So we want to have good 4 mounting points, and I think this is a very handsome shape. You know, you have connections down at the bottom to the breakouts, but you still have 4 strong points for connection.
H is for handsome. Okay.
H is for handsome.
Next up, we're going to go through the last ones quick because I want to leave some time for general questions.
Yeah,
we get a little bot. We get a little bot. We got Sparky the bot.
We got a little robot. This just came
Sparky the
in.
bot,
I'll hold this
Sparky
up.
the bot.
This is actually a really nice little robot kit.
Sparky the bot.
It
Kids like
it's
Sparky. Sparky draws Sparky's name.
you coming up with like a theme song for the Sparky bot?
Sparky bot.
Can I hold this thing up?
Sparky bot.
Okay, it's a cute little robot. So it's not a huge robot, which I kind of like. It's just a little mini bot. It's got a sonar sensor on a rotating servo. It's got an LCD up top. It's got a little battery case back here you can open. You can replace, uses 6AA batteries. It's got 2 wheels, which I think are actually servos. It's got a little caster at the bottom, ball caster, and sensors for line detection, and then 2 little grippies. These are nice little grippies for gripping onto things. Nice work. It's an open source hardware project. It is at Mega 32U4, so it's Arduino IDE compatible. I just think it's a cute little robot. It's got a lot of extras.
Yeah.
It's got a compass accelerometer, RGB LED, beeper, on-off switch, expansion port.
The robot learning and robot competition and robot education stuff use this bot. That's why we got it. It's a nice bot, by the way.
Yeah, I actually just kind of like it. Also, I like that it has the gripper built in. A lot of robots don't do that. Like I'm slowly opening and closing this
Yeah.
robot. It comes with a little Bluetooth adapter. It comes with a little IR remote. And it's fully ready to go. Like you plug it in, and it has all the benefits of being open source hardware without having to build it, which I kind of like. And it's a good price. It's not too expensive. It's
All
a
right.
good beginner bot.
And then last but not least, people asked for these because we started stocking one of the MagPi issues. So we have MagPi,
MagPi.
MagPi. We have some MagPi.
Do we have some more MagPi?
We got a little bit more MagPi.
I'd like another MagPi,
We got
please.
Lady Ada on MagPi.
Oh, hey, wait, that's me.
We got more MagPi,
MagPi.
and then we have all the MagPis.
Because that was like a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So.
I look the same, I hope. I don't look older. All the MagPi is here.
So these are these are printed up in the UK. This supports the magazine is designed on
It's
Raspberry
designed on a
Pi.
Raspberry Pi.
And so we have these in the US. We're the only US distributor. So if you want a piece of history and you want to have great articles and content supported, here's the MagPi. This is the old school gaming issue. Here's one with a robot. Here's one with the camera. So it's really cool. I mean, MagPi is it's one of the premier magazines for Raspberry Pi enthusiasts.
Okay,
So okay.
get your MagPi. We were very
And
popular.
that, Lady Ada, is new products. Good work.
That was new products. Good work, me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna open it up to questions for everybody. So
You can ask questions about
ask
the new
engineering
products,
questions. Ask
engineering
questions about all that stuff.
You can ask about roses.
Oh, that's funny. Someone said from the Pi MagPi, they said add to cart, add to cart, and add to cart.
They're actually, it's a really lovely magazine. I
Yeah.
like it. I've read it online, but it's as a paper issue, it's also really great. And I think we're the only seller in America that has them.
Yeah, I think we are right now. One quick note: don't forget V-Day is a code 10% off everything you saw,
Including the MagPis.
including the MagPi.
MagPi.
Expires tonight, 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
If you got Bitcoins, you can use Bitcoins. You can combine it with the free offer.
You can do all these. You can get 10% off, use Bitcoins, get a free permaproto Pi, and free shipping. Or sorry, not permaproto, half size, and get free shipping. All of these things combined, and our love.
All right.
Any questions?
Next up, last June, oh wow, people remember shows now. Last June, during another show, you talked about maybe coming out with a backpack for a hex segment to display. Did you think that will ever happen?
I'm working on other backpacks first. I gotta get to the bar graph one, and then I'll think about the hex segment one. Hex segments are annoying. The thing is I have to have a good supplier for the hex segment displays, and I haven't quite figured that out. We had to change suppliers a couple times to get a good supplier of the backpacks and bar graphs.
Yeah.
All this stuff takes time.
Next up. Oh.
What?
You both seem to have a lot more energy on Wednesday nights, so you're taking Saturday nights off now. We're trying to.
Trying to.
Yeah, running an Adafruit takes a lot of energy.
What did we do last Saturday? I think we just like
Well-
sat around and like rocked back and forth. And we're like, how come we're not doing a show right now?
Yeah, I was kind of having panic attacks because I fell asleep a little bit, and then I woke up and I'm like, oh my god.
At like 7 o'clock, we're like, we have to go start doing the show. No, we don't.
Yeah. So
And we do have a little bit
we're-
more energy on Wednesdays.
We're trying. Adafruit is up
It's also
to...
not 10 p.m.
Yeah, Adafruit's up
Really
to
late.
64 people, and it just takes a lot running an Adafruit right now. And there's just a lot going on. So we're trying to take weekends off so we can be super energetic during the week and maybe have some time to reflect and think of fun, awesome new things.
I'll be joyous for the both of us.
Yeah. Next up. What do you recommend for a hobbyist who wants to do one-off surface mount soldering of tiny chips, hot air rework station, hack toaster oven, or hot plate?
If you're just doing one-offs, a fine pitch soldering tip is just fine. We have the Hackos that we have in the store, and then the fine pitch tip. You can do most small surface mount components quite easily.
Yeah.
Hot air. Other than that, I mean, it's like, okay, well, you have to buy something. If you have to buy something because you're in that kind of zone, that hot air gun the hot air tool is handy.
Okay.
Also for removing, it's nice. You can remove stuff with it.
Okay. What about
What about
QFN or BGA chips with no leads, though?
QFNs? You can do with a soldering iron. You drag solder. I do it with some paste and a fine pitch tip. BGAs, you're not going to be able to do either way. So I've not yet seen someone who's done BGAs successfully more than like once by accident.
Here's
toaster
one.
oven.
I'm doing a short presentation on open source hardware tomorrow. Any tips in speaking in front of a largest audience? Yeah, I got a bunch, and you probably have
Okay.
a bunch. So here's one. Always
one.
talk about what you know. Make sure you know it. If you're talking about open source hardware, you know what? You have to have open source hardware that you've made and shipped. And you have to have open source hardware maybe part of your business, or it has to be something that you put skin in the game. It can't just be, here's a giant overview of this thing, and here's just my opinions about it. You have to talk about experience. I tend to think that those are the best presentations.
Yeah.
And that's just like a general advice thing. Do
Yeah.
you have any tips for presentations?
I think like the best tip that you ever gave me is practice, but don't practice so much that you've memorized everything. Because if your talk is stuff you know, you don't have to memorize it because you've told the story, you know the story. If you've memorized stuff a little bit too much, if something goes wrong, you'll get stuck. Like if a slide doesn't show up right, you can get into a panic mode, which is bad. It's better to sort of tell the story with the slides as assistance.
Yeah.
And don't just read off your slides.
Yeah, lots of photos, and always remember celebrating others
Yeah, celebrating others.
is kind of, I think, your duty. If you're on the stage and you've been given the spotlight, you should be raising others up, and so putting them in the spotlight. So open source hardware is one of the best things to talk about because there's so many great people doing great things. There's an endless list and supply of people that you can point to and say, look at this contribution, look at this cool thing they did, look how they took a big risk in giving away everything, and look at all the value that they put back in the world. So
Yeah.
that's just some advice.
Deep.
Next up. Can you use a $9 for DIY Steadicam?
Yeah, but normally when people make DIY Steadicams, they just put a heavy weight on it, which is a lot cheaper. They get like a big chunk of lead.
Okay.
Works pretty well
All right. And
on a stick.
yeah.
Get a stick with some lead on it.
Let's see. Someone wants to know what are some of the smallest Arduinos, Arduino compatibles. I'd say the
Micros.
yeah,
Super small.
The micro super small, the Gemma and Trinket is like in that zone.
Yeah, they're small. They're not
Yeah.
completely Arduino compatible, but if you want like a true Arduino compatible, I think one of the smallest is the micro. So I call the micro.
Yeah. Okay. When is National Adafruit Day? I don't know when National
Right now.
Adafruit Day is, but I do know there's a International Arduino Day coming up soon, and we will be celebrating
right.
it.
That's right.
And if everything works out well, we will have Massimo, CEO of Arduino, on the show and tell and ask an engineer celebrating along with us.
Yep.
And I hope very soon we have a giant announcement that we can talk about that we're doing with Arduino. We've been working on it for a really long time. We really like Arduino.
You're changing your name to Arduino.
It's Adaduino, sorry.
Arduino.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arduino Fruit.
We're not merging.
Arduino Fruit Industries.
We're not merging.
Yeah. Okay. Folks, that's it for the show tonight. We're going to do a trivia question, and we're going to give away something.
Yeah.
Lady Ada, it's time to give away something. What do you
Yeah.
want to
I'm
give away?
going to give away a 9 DOF.
9 DOF. All right.
Handy.
Okay.
All the DOFs.
So here's the thing, folks. We're getting good at the syncing of stuff. So, Lady Ada, what are the rules?
Rules are if you've won a prize from the Ask the Engineer trivia question, you don't get to enter and win another prize. So go and make yourself a sandwich, or I don't know, look up the Intel Galileo specs and post them into the chat so other people know them. Only one winner per lifetime. Whoever has the correct answer first in the chat wins the prize, which is a 9 DOF board.
Yeah.
Which has 3-axis gyro, 3-axis accelerometer, 3-axis magnetometer, so much over I2C.
So I'm going to be monitoring the comments in YouTube and on Ustream. They're pretty much synced up now. It's kind of nice. So here's the question.
What's the question?
What is the name of the company that Lane founded Purple Circuit Boards
Wearables.
at our hardware hangout on Tuesday? What's the name
What's
of the
the
company?
name of his company?
It's very easy. A lot of you probably use it.
Remember, if you've won before, you don't enter.
That's
Only
right.
one winner per lifetime.
What is it? It's not Arduino. That was a previous joke. Let's see. What is it? Who's typing? Who's getting to it first? I'm in Ustream. I'm in YouTube.
And you're clicking back and
Oh,
forth.
Old School 8-Bit. Congratulations, Old School 8-Bit. You get 9 DOF. Email support@adafruit.com.
This is your 9 DOF.
Yeah, that's your 9
We'll
DOF.
send this to you right
Congrats.
now. Email support@adafruit.com and say, hey, I won. Give us your name, your address, all those good things.
Yeah.
And we will toss you a 9 DOF board. So you can put your 9 DOF on your Sega Genesis. No, that was a 16-bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Was Nintendo 8-bit?
Yeah, 8-bit. It was 8-bit.
Okay, good. You can put it on that.
Yeah. Okay, folks. Don't forget the code is VDay. 10% off everything in Adafruit store up until midnight tonight. Get on it. Get on it. You can combine it with Bitcoin. You can combine it with our free offer. You can do all sorts of crazy things. Don't forget, we're here next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Show and tell, 8 p.m. on Ask an Engineer. There's a picture of a cat. Got to do this.
All right, show this cat.
Yeah, that's Mousepet. He's home. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, he's at home waiting for us, and he's confused because usually we come home on Wednesdays before like 9:30.
Yeah.
But not today.
Okay. That being said, we'll see everybody next week. Here is your moment of Zener.